Hello everybody, welcome to Wednesday Lunch Live Sketch number 9. My name is Frank Summers and today I'm going to be sketching some Halloween theme, Frankenstein's monster. Not Frankenstein, it's his monster. Frankenstein's monster. But before I do that, I would like to go back and critique what I did the week before, which was this one, our Inkling from Splatoon. Not really a whole lot to say about this one. The only thing I don't like about it too much, let me put a correction layer here really quickly. I don't like her ears, hair, tentacles. I don't know what they are. I wish I made them a little thinner. I don't know if you can see this. A little thinner, maybe even a little longer. You know, something like that. I remember I was discussing that in that prior episode about this particular area. You know, the tentacles, where's my, I still have it, the reference. You know, these things are pretty much attached to the side of her head. No, let me erase. I don't really imagine this particular piece like coming off. But I had that issue of like the hair / tentacles wrapping around her head. So I invented this. I don't know if it works. I flip-flopped on it several times as I cleaned this one up. Other than that, I think I handled the shoes pretty well. I simplified them a lot. These are very, this to the front. These are very, I would say photorealistic. Despite the fact that they are exaggerated proportionally, they're still kind of realistic lighting. There's a texture going on inside there. I just flattened them out and made them a very graphic shape. So that's about that. That's about all of that for this one. So why don't we just close that? No, thank you, and we'll move on. I like to keep these quick. I don't see the point in making them very long. I feel like people's time is precious. So let's just move along, shall we? So I already did some homework here. I did a few quick. I didn't know if I wanted to go cartoony like this guy, or I kind of like this one's neck. I like how long it is and exaggerated. In the end, I kind of, for some reason, Ben 10 popped into my head and the very angular type stuff. You can almost say it was Ben 10 is kind of inspired by Batman from the 90s. And now I'm sitting here thinking about it. I don't know if there's any connection at all between the character. Glen Murakami may be involved in both. So that could be the reason why. But in the end, I kind of like this guy. So what I'm going to do is, let's just dupe this layer really quickly. Where are you? Dupe. Okay. And I'm going to hide the other one. And I'm going to dump these guys. Just get them out. Goodbye. And we'll just bring him to the center and make sure we have a decent. Sure he's in there well. And what I'm going to do is just go in here and refine these shapes, try and move as quickly as possible so that we can get something of a final sketch for you by the end of the next 15 minutes or so. And again, a lot of this, I did a lot of the gestural work. I broke down where a lot of the planes are going to be. I already did that ahead of time, so this is just a matter of me going in and refining what I have. This is a little too purpley for my taste. There we are. I kind of like the idea of a box. Like in my head, I imagine the monster having like a weird box like inside of his skull, kind of keeping it all together. Let's push the jaw a little bit. And let's push the chin. Zoom in a little bit here so we can see what I'm doing. And again, I was, for some reason, Ben 10 popped up into my head. Clean lines, sharp lines, lots of angles. So that's what I'm going to go with. You know, I'm fighting the urge to do this type of thing with his hair. And I kind of almost want to leave it. I kind of almost want to leave it bald. I want to leave him bald. Is that cool? I have a bald Frankenstein. Let's just say yes for now. So here's our eye line right here, cutting across the center. Here's the Again, I'm flattening this form, but there's still a frontal plane to his, that I'm imagining is here. So I'm trying to be conscious of that. Brow line, these are constructions, so I'm thinking of construction. I'm thinking of the shape that is existing beneath the head, the cranium. So let's give him, like I vacillated on what kind of nose I wanted to give him. Let's give him something, again, angular. I almost want to give it something broken. I mean, he's made of pieces, right? So maybe, you know, maybe things are not exactly lined up per se on the nose. So now the eyes. So here's our eye line. Generally, the eyes sit on the line and they dip below. And I'm going to exaggerate the dipping below part to kind of give him some heavy. Let's darken this so we can see. Give him some heavy brow, or excuse me, eyelids. He's not exactly there. Small eyes. I want him to keep his eyes small, and droopy, to emphasize the lifelessness of it, of him, of it, whatever, however you want to. And again, I'm still not sure what I want to do with this hair here. Why don't we leave that alone for now? Let's give him some crazy, cracky, cracks in the lips. Need some Vaseline in there. There we go. And let's give a little bit of tone, just to show. Maybe the pupils are too. It should be a little thinner. Excuse me, smaller. Like a bigger pupil denotes that there's some life. But if they're smaller, surrounded by white, gives it the impression of like a dead eye. Like there's nothing really going on in there. So let's make sure we get some white around it and keep them smaller. And I kind of like, even though I did this just for the purpose of giving this line here, I kind of like this. And I want to emphasize it a little more, and I want to make sure it matches up with this cheekbone a little better. I don't know if I want it to be up here so much, but I can do something like this. My cat is out there howling. And it just gives this sunkenness. And I don't know about this line right here. Maybe what I can do is, so I can emphasize these cheekbones a little more. It makes them a little more skeletal. So I have make sure that they're kind of symmetrical at least. Keep that coming out of it. So now this form, this cheek is over top. And you can see how that's starting to work. Sharp. Okay. And just a straight line down. We can give this a bit of a curve. Again, straights against curves are what create interest. But zoom out and see how we're doing. Zoom way out. I remember before, that's one of my little tricks. I like to make sure the further out I go, the more things pop out. So as I'm out this far, I can already see that the head possibly needs to be tweaked a little bit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with exaggerating it, but it needs to fit. Let's zoom right out. So now it's not sticking. The forehead was what was giving me issue when I zoomed out that far. But whoops, not in Toon Boom. Because the forehead was up here, I'm drawing a dotted line, and it just looked awkward. I mean, there's a rotation on his head, so it just looked strange. So let's just keep moving on here, and we'll make clean lines. Clean lines. This will go right into his shirt. Okay, clean lines. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can take in what we're working on. I want to focus on his hands too, so I want to make sure I have plenty of time to do that. And a nice clean line from the chest, pecs, straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down to his knee, all the way down to his knee. Or I can tuck in where the knee is. I'll get to that in a bit. And let's just do straight, straight, straight. And we got, I want to say a hard curve. I don't want to say a point, but definitely a hard curve. And we can emphasize a nice curve here to emphasize some mass. And this can be tapering. The whole upper arm is tapering into a cylinder. Gives them the illusion of some muscle. And streamline right down into the wrist. And we'll give him some short sleeves because that's what happens when you're Frankenstein. You clearly are a growing boy. You grow out of your clothes very quickly. And we'll emphasize the wrist, a bony wrist. Okay. And, you know, so now I'm faced with this question straight. Here's a curve, straight, and I want to break right here into the upper thigh where we curve down into the knee again. And now the belt, let's give him like a massive belt buckle. Let's just try and rough something in here. Like it's really thick, like you could, maybe even thicker, I don't know. Like you could club somebody in the head with this thing and it's gonna kill them. Let's make it a little more rounded on the inside. Outside could be a little sharper. And then follow the curve of his torso. Follow the curve of his torso as it flattens out to the front. And again, I'm thinking clean. I want clean lines here. Yeah, I'm still thinking about his hair, and I think I like him bald. I don't know. I think I like bald Frankenstein. I don't know. Let's give it some more thought. We'll leave it sit, and we'll work down again a tapering cylinder. You know, I have to imagine it inserts into the elbow down here someplace. I've got about 2 or 3 more minutes, so let's just keep moving as fast as we can. Clean and a bent curve for the elbow, not sharp, like a little bend, you know. And it can reverse into the this cup. And this is an important part here. I don't want, so pay attention to this. I'll zoom in a little more. Too much. So if this is our elbow, right? Okay, and we know this is where the wrist is going to be, down here someplace. We want to make sure that the line that is connecting these two is going to be relatively straight. So the reason I'm saying this is that I bring this up is because this curve here is cutting a little too deeply, so into his forearm. So if we have our line here, this should be clean. And then this can come out, and now it makes sense. We go into our bony wrist. Okay, let's concentrate on the hands. I really kind of want to, excuse me, because I really want to have some decent looking hands on this guy. I want to spend my money on hands, so to speak. You know. Okay, so we have the back of the hand. This is the back of our hand. Here's a knuckle. Here's another knuckle, and another knuckle. Kind of, they fit behind each other in space. And here's another knuckle. And as I draw these things, I'm trying to think in my head the parts and how they fit and how they fit together. I want to break this out just a little bit. And by breaking it out, I mean I want to take the finger, the middle finger, and I want to have some space in between there. I want to have some space. This space in particular is what I'm referring to. So that they're separate, so that it makes a silhouette. So that it's interesting to look at. It creates interest. And these ones can roll behind a little bit. We don't even see them straight. Let's make this a straight. Straight, straight, straight. A bump for the knuckle. Bump for the knuckle. Bump for the knuckle. And another bump for the knuckle. Go out. Go really far out. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the silhouette of the hand. I'm looking at these spaces right here. Because these are the spaces that we see, believe it or not. If we quickly are flipping through this picture, these are the spaces that our eyes immediately see. What we kind of gravitate to, and it's how we read the pose. Let's move quickly here. I want to try and wrap up in another 2 minutes. Give me another 2 minutes on this. And again, a knuckle is here. Straight, straight, a knuckle. Another knuckle. Whoa, how do I want to handle this? I don't want to do the exact same hand as this one. That would be sort of boring. One, two, three. Our fingers are made up of 3 parts. Let's break it out again. 1, 2, 3. Straight, straight, straight. And maybe what I'll do is I'll take a pinky and break a pinky out. A big, fat, gross pinky. So this is going to come out here now. This could probably use a little more refining. But I hope you see what I'm getting after. And let's just roll along. Roll along. Here's our crotch, a zipper. He's able to zip his pants up. Okay, straight down, straight. Zoom out a little bit, see how we're looking. And his big boots. You know, I'm fighting the urge to make them into boxes. I know that is the stereotypical Frankenstein. However, I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm going to make it into a box. Laces. There we are. And same thing over here. Straight down. Back of the calf. This goes into the front. Kicks up. Let's make that boxy shoe. And we're going to wrap up here. Some laces. I think I'd have to go through and refine some of this again. So I have a very Spartan looking Frankenstein here. I want to give him a goatee. Would that be silly? Okay, so there he is. Here's our Frankenstein. I feel like I got pretty far in about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I thank you very much for joining me. I think I'd like to spend some more time on him on my own, and I would like to post the results as I normally do to my blogger and all the social networks. But of course, I will put a link in this video as well so you can see it for yourself, the final colored version. And I'll probably also do some tweaks to it. Even just looking at it now, I think I would go in here and maybe streamline this, make that into a straight, or introduce a little bit of a bend. you know, something like that. But again, thank you very much for joining me today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel or circle me or add me to some sort of list or Tumblr or like it, something like that, and tell all your friends about it. I got a sandwich over here I'm going to take another bite out of because I'm pretty hungry, and then I need to get back to work. You guys all have a great day. Thank you very much.